Up, IDS Mob, HarryWilmington here, your dating coach. Happy 2024. We made it. We made it to the new year. For all you all that have been following me, I appreciate you taking time to watch my videos and, of course, continuing to politic here as we talk about dating, relationships, and all that stuff. So I wanted to start off this year giving you guys a little message of hope. You know, obviously the holidays just passed, and I've always been, let's not be real, not always, but I really try to be as much of an optimist as I possibly can. And part of the reason that I started this channel is because I want to give you guys hope out there that relationships are still possible, that you yourself can actually get into a thriving relationship with a woman that is of high quality and that will be there for you and really, truly cares for you. And this past holiday season, I got tons of examples of that. Like, I think people forget, if you're in the online space and watching all these videos, it can be very easy to be down on relationships and think that they're not worth it. There are no good women out there. They all suck. Relationships are a crap show. Online dating sucks. Women suck, like all those things, right? But I think people forget that at the end of the day, when you get the right partner, relationships are supposed to be fun. Not necessarily all the time, but ideally you're with somebody that you can share life with, you can share joy with, tears, happiness, having a good time, all that stuff. And I saw that reminder throughout the entire holiday. So for me, for my holiday, for example, I spent it this year with a close friend of mine who was like on the verge of death a couple months ago. And so he recently got engaged to his longtime girlfriend. On top of, I got to spend time with his family down in San Diego for the holidays. And so I got to hang out with his sister and her husband, as well as their kids, who I've known since they were like yay high. They're like 20 and 17 now, so they're all grown up. But it's just seeing that, like going down there and seeing my friend who's in a very, very happy relationship, seeing his sister who's been married for ages now, and seeing the results of that relationship in terms of them having kids and having a house together and having a life together and still to this day being flirty with each other and still being kind and caring to each other. Like that kind of stuff is still very much existing today. Then last night was New Year's Eve, and I got invited to go to a New Year's Eve party up in the hills of California from a fellow alum of my school that I went to for college, and it was a 70s themed party. So I go to this party, right? And there are a bunch of people that are dressed up in 70s gear, but more importantly, they have at the party a whole bunch of couples that came together in couples costumes, and they were throughout the night dancing and grooving and moving, and they had a couples contest at some point where all the couples got to get together with their partner, and they got to get judged on what they wore to the party. A lot of disco and Afro and bell-bottom stuff happening because it was a wild 70s party. But suffice to say, I'm in this environment where people are there with their wives, not necessarily girlfriends, but like their wives, their significant others, dressing up, having a good time. I'm watching women go to the kitchen to get plates for their men. I'm seeing the men out there like, you know, dancing with their wives and looking at them with admiration. Like, and it's just a reminder that these are the kind of things that still exist. Like I know people say, oh, that's old love, that doesn't happen anymore. But I'm sure you, like I said, when I hung out with my friend and his sister and and her husband, like, again, their kids are there. They're 20-year-old, they're 17-year-old, and they're both in relationships at their ages that are thriving as well. Now, granted, they're 20 and 17, so, you know, things are bound to flip up. But the point is that even they were able to find women in their lives that are also supportive and caring and kind, which means at any age bracket, whether you're young teens or 20s or 30s or 50s or 60s or whatever, these women do still exist. Now, some of you might still be on the negative side and think, but they're so hard to find or whatnot. Well, I'll be honest with you, guy. Part of being able to find a good partner is knowing what one looks like, and then also when you find that person, being able to already be the person that can handle that kind of relationship. Because I'll be honest, guys, if you up to this point have been so focused on hating women that you haven't actually worked on yourself to become the kind of person that has good communication skills or knows how to, you know, be around people in a way that makes them want to, you know, spend time with them and stuff like that, then you unfortunately have more work to do because you can, in fact, attract that person. There are women probably in your life right now that have been looking at you from afar and thinking to themselves, I would get with this guy if only he maybe dressed a little bit better, if he smelled better, if he took care of his grooming skills better, if he wasn't living at his mom's place, if he had a car, if he had a job, if he had any kind of money coming in, if he had a better personality, if he wasn't so boring. Like, you can fix all those things and be able to get women in your life that will be the ones that want to stick around with you long term, you know? So anyway, so I saw all that. And then I also saw in these various places the downside that can happen, because what I noticed is that, let's say I went to the 70s party, for example, right? So go to the 70s party, and of course, I'm seeing couples left and right having a good time. And then off to the side, I see women that are by themselves and have nobody. And while everybody's up on the floor dancing with their significant other, they're just sitting on the couch, kind of like looking at them, wishing they could be that person. And I point this out because you guys are thinking that like, oh, like, you know, women are saying they don't need a man, this, and that. And I'll tell you, the holidays are a perfect time to really highlight the fact that women ultimately don't want to be alone. Like, it's real easy for them to say that during the times of the year where there's not a lot of gatherings happening, and they can be in boss babe mode and say, I'm cool being independent, I'm going on this vacation by myself, I'm doing this by myself, this and that, right? But from November, really from October 31st up until New Year's, and then even all the way down to Valentine's Day, this is the season where women start to realize, oh crap, like, I'm alone and I don't have anybody. And that gets to their ego. Why can't I find somebody? How is it that my, friend who objectively in the looks department is a 4 or 5 is able to have a guy that's a husband, and yet me, who I'm saying objectively is a 9 or 10, can't seem to keep anybody? Why am I alone? Why am I at this party by myself? I'm trying to look like I have boss babe energy, and yet nobody cares because they're too busy looking at their significant other and not me. And I stress this because some of you guys are thinking that like these women, you see them on a day-to-day when it's not a holiday, thinking you have no shot. And I try to stress to you guys that these are the women that you actually probably have the best chance with, because they're not wanting to do things alone. Like, as much as they go out there in the world and say, oh, independent, be this and that, they go home alone to their apartment by themselves, they eat by themselves, they bathe by themselves, they sleep by themselves, and women don't want to be alone. Like, they might try to make you think they want to be alone. I can assure you, they don't want to be alone. So if you were the kind of guy that had more confidence in himself and had just a little bit more game enough to kind of know how to carry on a conversation with a woman, what things to talk about, what things to not maybe be so open about in the beginning, when to, full force go at them, when to kind of be patient and back away, then you could get these women who are alone and are actually looking for men, okay? But this also goes to, you have to have the right mindset. If you are constantly thinking that relationships aren't worth it and that women aren't worth it, and that you don't want to have to waste your time trying to play games and do things that feel unnatural to you to get women, then you can make that choice, but you're missing out. Like, real talk, I know a lot of people again say, oh, this is why women are sucks and this and that. But when you find a good one, I can assure you, then every thought that you had about how bad relationships were and how awful women are and how they all suck will go away. Because again, relationships ultimately are designed to be fun things that allow you to be with somebody that you're going through life with and having these experiences and memories with. And that is not a bad thing to strive for. And I have guys in my comments that'll say, it's not worth it. Oh, and this is that. Okay, fine. You can complain about women. Hey, I get it. I complained about women for a lot of years because I couldn't get dates and I thought that it was all them and they all suck, this and that. And what I learned is that concentrating so heavily on how much women suck doesn't get you women. It just leaves you bitter, and then you project that out to women that you would date, and then you also have a cognitive bias, so when you go out in the world, you see a woman that could potentially be somebody who would date you, and you think, she probably just wants a 6-foot guy with 6 figures, blah, blah, blah. Like, you're already projecting out there that this woman's not gonna want you for X, Y, and Z reason that you saw on YouTube or on the internet somewhere, and then you get mad at her and don't even try to ask to talk to her or to even get her number, I just don't want you to go into 2024 with any of the same kind of bitterness you may have had in 2023. I want you to think about the fact that if you know the right things to do, you can find good women, quality women that, again, will be there for you and will emphatically love you. And I saw so much of that, so much proof of that during this last holiday season. And that's what I want for you at home. I want you to be able to find yourself a woman and get into that space where you can legitimately find good women to date. and also be the kind of guy yourself that is a good man that knows how to treat women the right way, you know? So I just wanted to put that, I don't know why I felt the need to do that. I recorded a bunch of other videos that I was gonna put out this week, and I definitely will put them out later this week, but I thought this would be a good message for the first video of the year. Lastly, I wanna mention a live webinar that I'm gonna be holding next week on January 10th at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. This webinar is called 3 Nice Guy Dating Patterns That Are Causing You to Lose Women and What to Do Instead. And this is gonna be a webinar that gets you more aware about 3 major dating patterns that you may not be aware that you have that is actually being detrimental to your dating life. Because I want you to go into 2024 ready and willing to go out there and date, but I need you to know what things you may be doing that unintentionally are causing you to not get the women you desire. And so it's a free webinar. You can sign up at the link in the description below. So I definitely look forward to seeing you at that webinar at 6 o'clock on January 10th, which is next Wednesday, all right? So thank you guys so much for watching. I look forward to being here for you guys in the new year. Yes, we have new live shows coming starting tomorrow on Tuesday and every Tuesday after that at 5 o'clock p.m. So be sure to stick around for those as well. Also, as always, go to the website, check out my eBooks, audiobooks, video coaching programs, all those great things that are designed to help you date as your introverted self while still getting your precious alone time. Thank you so much for watching, for being here. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. I'm out. Peace.
You's a bad boy, but you can't stop, won't stop. You a high earning, high value, high class man. You a high earning, high value, high class man. You a high earning, high value, high class man. You a high class man. You a high class man. You a high earning, high value, high class.